And there I am. Okay. Hi there, everybody. This is ChiefBrodyRules here, aka Frank Ireland, and I wanted to give some advice on making fan trailers. I did this like a year ago where I sat down and I just like riffed, but I wasn't on camera because I was just wanted to talk and do audio because I didn't have a nice setup. Now I have a nice setup and I want to sort of redo the stream and give some advice out there for those people who want to do fan trailers. And so that's what I want to do today. So I'm just going to slightly go through it as best as I can because every project's sort of different. So, for example, we'll just say that I'm making the Batman versus Superman trailer. So what I'm doing is I would first come up with the idea. So it's Batman versus Superman. I want John Cusack in it. I want Bruce Willis in it, and I want Denzel in it, and Jennifer Connelly. So first I would do research. So that would mean I would probably go to either the actor's IMDb or I would go to the Wikipedia page and sort of get an idea of what I want to do with that mashup. So let me just pull something up on the screen here. I'm going to do some light research. Just for example. Okay. I'm going to pull it on screen. Hang on, can I put it on the screen? Okay, maybe make it a little bit bigger. There we go. So I would do research. I would go to the, either the Wikipedia page or the IMDb. I usually do the Wikipedia page because I feel like the IMDb like gives you everything. It'll give you like the TV show and like voiceover or producer credits. Like, it's too much, and get all those ads. Like, oh, it's the new show on Hulu, and it's just too much. I don't like using IMDb. I usually just go to Wikipedia, and it'll give me an idea. So when I was doing research on John Cusack for the Batman versus Superman trailer, I would look up these movies and sort of get an idea of what I wanted to do. So not only do I look at his filmography, as you can see here, it's like True Colors and all that. So I would try to get a good idea. So not only do I make a list of these movies, or like, at least get an idea. Like, okay, so let me look up the trailer for like 8 Men Out, and then I would usually go to YouTube and watch those trailers of those movies. And as I did research, I realized that there was a good couple of years for John Cusack, because if I went too far back, the actor would look too young, and then if I went too forward, he would look too old. So the breaking point for my fan trailer, the years, it would be for 1990, The Grifters, because I think that was like him, like right in the transition of looking like 90s John Cusack, because anything before that, he was sort of like babyface, a little bit chubby and too young looking. So from like 1990 until I think it was Runaway Jury. I think honestly Runaway Jury was the last one, but I kind of stretched it because I used clips from 1408. But Runaway Jury is like the last time he looked a certain way, because everything after that, he sort of had like a receding hairline and a little bit more wrinkles under his eyes, and it did not quite match. So when I was doing research, that's what I did. I would look at all these movies. So I knew I had from 1990 until, let's see, at least 2003 of movies to use for mashups. And some of them you could just toss out right away. Like, I wouldn't be able to use Thin Red Line because that's a war movie. And then I could toss out Being John Malkovich because he has like a unique look in it. He has like long hair with a beard. So there's just some movies you could figure out as you're doing research for this. If you're ever doing like a fan trailer or whatnot, because there's just certain things. Like, example, another one, Anastasia. You can't use that one because it's animated. But you can never count those out, though, because you could always use a line that he said in Anastasia. I don't know if he ever said a line that I could use for a fan trailer, but you never know. He could say a line, like, get over here or stop that. And it's like something generic enough where you could throw it in a fan trailer. So don't always count out the voiceovers for animated movies. But I would do that. So first you have the idea, Batman versus Superman, and then you find the actors you want to do. John Cusack, Jennifer Connelly, all that. And I'd usually do the same thing for Jennifer Connelly and Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis, I think I had, let me look at his page. I think, yep, filmography. Let's go right to it. For Bruce Willis, I believe it's a good couple of years. So I had at least from Bonfire of the Vanities. I know I could use like Die Hard or Die Hard 2, but that was the thing when I was doing the Batman trailer. I tried not to use clips from Die Hard. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I tried not to. I probably did use a line or two. I don't quite remember at this moment, but I did try to avoid. Oh, wait, I did use lines from Die Hard. I used lines from Die Hard 2 when he said, I was pretty effing useless out there. Yes, that was the line I used, but I tried to not use clips from Die Hard because Die Hard is so iconic and unique looking. I tried to avoid those because I didn't want Bruce Willis in the white tank top for the Batman trailer, and I didn't want him to wear that like that flannel shirt he wore in Die Hard 2. I really tried to avoid that for the Batman and Batman versus Superman. But for Bruce, you can see here I have from Bonfire of Vanity, so that's like 1990, all the way to, I think it was the whole 9 yards. Possibly. Yeah, the whole 9 yards was the cutoff point. Because I'm trying to think of like clips I used. That was the cutoff point because after that, that's when he became bald. The kid, I believe, was like the last one with his hair. Maybe even that's a wig. But like he's starting to bald and then he totally shaved his head for Unbreakable. And after that, it's mostly bald Bruce Willis. So I believe the whole 9 yards was like my last point of reference for clips for the fan trailer. I don't think I used any clips from the whole 9 yards. I think that I'd used clips from the Sixth Sense. That's when Jennifer Connelly's talking to him and saying, I want to know that something extraordinary is possible. I think that's the line. And that's like the cutoff point, though. It was the Sixth Sense because I used the Siege and I definitely used the Jackal. But I believe that was like the cutoff point was the whole 9 yards if I wanted to use him on camera for any visuals. Let's see. Going down my list. So first, you have the idea, and then you have to do research. And then I'll give some advice for programs. So for ripping DVDs, I use DVD Fab. It's a program where you just, pay for it like a whole like lifelong subscription. And all you have to do is have like an internet connection to make sure make sure that it's still active, that the account's still active. I think that's like the only hiccup in it because whenever I try to use it, sometimes when I'm offline, it says like you need to connect to Wi-Fi. So I usually have to connect to Wi-Fi so it like connects your account to their servers and say, okay, you could use that. But you don't have to make monthly payments. You could just make one big giant payment to pay for the program. It also does Blu-rays, but I've noticed that it's a little iffy because I use a laptop. I don't use an actual desktop. I use a laptop for my fan trailers. So it's a little bit iffy when I try to use, what do you call it? Ripping Blu-rays using the DVD Fab. But I can use, I can rip DVDs on there. And the reason why I like ripping DVDs still is because it's easier to do the DVD stems. And what I mean by that is like there's some movies out there that have the 3-track system. So it's like the voices are on one audio track. And then it's sort of like the surround sound and then sort of the music. It's like all separated. And that's how you can get the clean, voiceover track is using the DVD Fab. And when you rip it, usually I do the ISO file or the VOB file. I believe that's what it's called. I try to do that. Let me pull myself to the big screen again. Yeah, so for my programs, that's what I use. I use DVD Fab for DVDs, and that's mostly to get. It's either hard to find movies that are not on Blu-ray. I use DVD Fab, or if I'm trying to do like a mashup and I want that clean audio stem without having to worry about troubleshooting with the Blu-ray, I usually use DVD Fab. With combining it with MPEG Stream Clip. So what MPEG Stream Clip does, so I would usually put the VOB file or the ISO file into the MPEG Stream Clip file. So There's some free programs that you could use online. There is Handbrake. That's very important for Blu-rays. Make MKV. My friend Kai introduced that to me a few years ago. MKV will rip. It's a free program online. I believe it's for PC and Mac, and it'll rip the Blu-ray. And you could actually choose what files you want from the Blu-ray, and it'll rip that movie, and it'll make the MKV file. But the thing is, the MKV file is huge. It's like probably 35 gigs, maybe 20 gigs, something like that. It depends how long the movie is. And that's where Handbrake comes in. Handbrake is also a free internet program that you could install into your computer. Again, Mac or PC. You could download it to your computer, and it'll make the file smaller, and you can convert it to MP4. So right now, I actually do have a file that I want to convert on Handbrake. I'm going to see if I can present that on screen. Just give me a file. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. Share screen. Give me a second. It's giving me the option. Or maybe it's not. Uh-oh. Oh, geez. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's where I get my Bill Burr. Okay. I'm going to share that on the screen. Okay, is that sharing? Yes, it's sharing on screen. Okay, so with this example, I'm trying to do... Okay, so a little bit of backstory, because you can see here, this is clearly Star Wars. So I have an idea for a fan trailer. I'm going to do the ChiefBrodyRules version of the Rise of Skywalker. Instead of what the actual movie is, I'm going to try to pitch my idea of what I wanted Rise of Skywalker to be. So I'm actually wanting to attempt to do a fan trailer of time travel for the Star Wars series. So I want to have like Poe, Finn, and Rey go back in time and sort of use clips from the sequel trilogy and make it look like they're interacting with the old movies, because that's sort of what I want to do with that trailer. So right now, this is Handbrake. Handbrake will take the MKV file and make it smaller. So just give me a minute here while I work on it. So it gives you tons of options here. So it gives you the chapter breakdown. I usually unclick that because it's not important. I get rid of this because I don't want any subtitles on the screen if it does happen. Audio. This is fine. That's perfect. And then this is the quality. Placebo quality means like it'll still be a huge file. And then if you're lower quality, this will be pixelated and look terrible. It'll look like worse. So what you really want to do is like keep it in like between 18 and 22. That's like a good spot for Blu-rays. 22 makes it like the file smaller, and any smaller than this, you're kind of risking or gambling that the visual will look terrible. But if you go like 18, it'll be like a larger file, but the picture will look good. So right now, I'm going to leave it at 22. And then there's the cropping here as well. Normally, I leave this alone, but there is some times where you have to change the dimensions for this. Some like example, like if there's like a Christopher Nolan Blu-ray you're ripping and it goes to the IMAX, you might want to change the height and width of that so it copies the whole thing, so you get all those IMAX scenes, similar to Tron Legacy and probably Maverick. Maverick would probably do the same, where you just have to change those dimensions so it copies the whole thing, because what this does is it automatically does the black bars for you. It'll crop out the black bars and do that for the whole thing, but it won't do that on those IMAX movies. So you really have to do manually to make sure you copy the whole movie properly. So there's that. And then here we have MP4, which is perfect. That's what we want it as. This is the movie, and fast 1080. Basically don't really touch anything. It's already all set. And then I'm going to save it on my desktop. I'm just going to save it as The Rise of Skywalker. Trows. And then I'm just going to hit starting code. And it'll take a while because I have a laptop. It's not a desktop, so it'll take a little bit longer than usual. So it usually takes, depending on the movie, it probably takes up to 2 hours. If you're like doing like a whole like Cowboy Bebop, like first season kind of thing, it'll take forever. Well, not forever, but like 2-3 hours to do that. But I'm on a laptop, so it's a little bit different for me. It might take a little bit longer. Right now, you probably hear my laptop going because it's
going to do that. It's converting that. So those are the things that it's doing. For those who's just tuning in, I'm explaining how what programs I use for my fan trailers, because I use a lot of different programs. I use DVD Fab for DVDs. I use Handbrake to make the Blu-ray file smaller. So I would use like the MKV file and make it smaller. And then there's the Make MKV program that'll rip the Blu-ray. And then for those other things I can't find, like because I don't pirate. I guess I do pirate movies because I copy them, but I don't use torrents. I don't know how to do that, and I don't want to learn how to do that, and I don't want to risk it. To me, it seems too risky. Too risky. I'm not a fan of torrents, or I just don't know. I don't know how to use them, and I don't want to use them. So what I usually do is I order movies from eBay if they're really hard to find. So here's the steps of picking out sources for your movies if you want to copy them on Blu-ray and DVD. First thing is check your local library. That's a good source of movies. Depending on which library, the Western New York library I use is very great. There's so many different libraries, and it's almost like they want to make sure there's at least one copy of every movie out there, because there's like some movies at my library that I'm surprised they even have. Like they have like Chopping Mall. It's like, who would have Chopping Mall? But the library does. It's at least at one of the libraries. So see what the library has. See what you can order or rent from the library. DVD or Blu-ray, you could use them. And then second thing is eBay. Check eBay, see what they have. I usually use this one dude that I think his name's like Blow Himself Up Man or something like that. He usually has great prices, and it's usually quick. Like if you order it you'll get it within 4 days. It's a great service. I like that guy. And he usually has a good library of things that are on sale on his eBay website. Let me see if I could find it here so I could recommend him properly. So I'm just going to look it up. I hope everyone's doing okay today. Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm doing it proper to make sure I promote the person I want to promote. There he is. So I'm gonna pull it on screen, Jamie, and I'm gonna find share screen. Groundhog Day. Maybe that's it. Share. Okay. As you can see here, there he is. His name is Blow It Out of Here, Man. So this guy's account has a lot of great movies. I usually shop there. Oh, Lord. Lord help me. Damn it. It's stupid. Anyway, this is a great source of DVDs and Blu-rays. This guy usually has a good assortment on his website. And then I also would recommend FYE. FYE does have a lot of good movies. And sometimes, out of the blue, Amazon or Walmart will have it, because there was a time, let me bring myself back to full screen. There was a time when I was looking for this Jamie Lee Curtis movie called Perfect, and I was like, it's got to be on eBay. So I went to eBay, and all they had were like really expensive out-of-print Blu-rays, and they also had out-of-print DVDs that were like $20, and I was like, I guess I could do that, but I prefer the Blu-ray. So I, on a lark, went to Google and typed in Perfect Blu-ray, and it was at Walmart.com for some reason. And I was like, whoa, there it is. So you never know. So make sure you check all these different websites for your movies or DVDs that you want to rip for your project. So that's my advice for that. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, when I find an actor or actors that I want to do for a project, like Bruce Willis, John Cusack, things like that, Kristen Stewart, what I usually do is I create a playlist on YouTube where I like to, keep my research. Because for every project I do tons of research before I even go into it. So let me find that screen here. And pull it up on screen, Jamie. Okay, and then I'm going to make it. Okay, it's good size, good size. So on the Chief Brody Rules page, I create these playlists. As you can see here, there's Legacy. That is for my YouTube poop. How much longer does the program need? Project I want to do. So that's the Legacy folder. And then right here we have Tenant. Went too far. So Tenant is a playlist for an abandoned Arnold Schwarzenegger project I wanted to do. I wanted to do like sort of a sequel to the movie, my fan trailer Reset, and do a thing sort of like riffing off Tenet and time travel. Didn't quite work out. And right now that playlist is whatever remains of my research. And then we also have the coronavirus playlist. So I'm going to show you as an example what this playlist is. It's not really coronavirus. It's just the nickname of it. But this is all my research for my Godzilla fan trailer. So whenever you watch that Godzilla fan trailer, Godzilla Arcadia, this is where all my research is. This is sound effects. These are movie clips. These are like interviews, things like that. Different movie trailers, because there's when I do fan trailers, I do a lot of research on movies. So with this, I did research on Godzilla, Super 8, Transformers, fun mashup trailers, old movies, old trailers, and I make a playlist here, and it keeps it all there for me to use. Some of these things are mistakes, like I think the It Chapter 2. Wait a minute, that actually is on purpose, because for the It Chapter 2, someone uploaded this trailer accidentally, and it doesn't have the movie titles. You know, it's how it says like May or this spring, and it has that cool background. This trailer does not have the titles, it just has the background. So that's why it's on this playlist. Because at first I thought it was a mistake, but there's a reason why it's there. But yeah, this whole playlist is all the things I needed for my project, for the Godzilla Arcadia project, and it's all my research I did. All Michael Bay movies, all King Kong things, all monster movies. It's all right here, and I do this for every project, just to let you guys know on a secret. Like Cherry Bomb stuff, this is not Cherry Bomb. This is my Kristen Stewart project research. So this is her interviews. These are like music videos. These are fan vids. These are clips from a movie she was in. These are Brie Larson clips. There's a ton of stuff here for my research, because I do tons and tons of research. My projects, that's the reason why they take so long, is because I'm always trying to figure out stuff. Like White Boy Rick's here. We have the trailer for 54, Studio 54, Boogie Nights, Widows. We have all that stuff. And then, let's see, we have any other playlists that really showcase that. Right here, we have Hope. A few years ago, I did a huge video essay on the DC universe, and this is all my research on the DC universe. This is interviews, behind the scene clips, a lot of Zack Snyder interviews where he gives his opinion on the universe and basically explains everything. Everything in this playlist like backs up all my theories about what Zack Snyder was trying to do. This playlist used to be a lot bigger, but over the years, because of copyright stuff, they have to take some videos off this. It says 2 unavailable videos. I guess it wasn't that much larger, but this was a large playlist that I went through, and it just has tons of research on the DCEU for that project I was working on. So let me bring myself back up to the big screen. So the steps I've gone through so far, hopefully I'm not repeating too much on the replay, but first you figure out your idea, figure out what actors you want to do, and then look up their filmography, see where you can start at, what the starting point is, but like, how their look of their faces, because you don't want them to look too young and you don't want them to look too old. You have to pick that right spot for them. There is some actors that you could cheat with this. There is like Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly, and because that's why I always use them, because you could kind of cheat their look, because they basically stayed the same age for so long and they look great even at their old age. So that's why I usually use Tom Cruise and Jennifer Connelly. Give me a second here. Yeah, there is that. And then, so you find out the age limit of what you want for their fan trailer. And then you look up the movie trailers. So look up the movie trailers for those movies that they're in with that time period and see what you could use. Because when you watch those trailers, you could hear movie lines that you want to use. Like, for example, Pushing Tin, there was that nice clip of John Cusack saying, like, oh, just some stuff at work. You want to talk about it? We just did. That clip is only in the trailer, so that's why I had to use that, because it wasn't in the movie. But that movie does have a lot of good lines, and I believe some of them are even in that trailer. You also, like, if you're beginning, or if you want to homage some of your favorite trailers, use that as a reference. Like, with almost every fan trailer I do, there's always some sort of reference to a favorite trailer that I like. Like for the Kristen Stewart project, there is a specific moment that is completely inspired by the Below trailer. And then for the Batman versus Superman trailer, that whole ending bit is inspired by like the Dark Knight trailer, because it's using that music from the movie Black Rain, that's what it's called. Heavy Rain is the video game. But there's all those things that goes into a project where you could homage your favorite trailer, or homage something that you like, or just rip it off completely. Don't even have to say homage, just say that you're ripping off. Like my trailer project, Captain America Winter Soldier, that one I'm kind of not so proud of, even though it's a big hit and everyone loves it. That one I stole. I felt like Tarantino or Paul Thomas Anderson, where I'm just ripping off things. And so much so that in the trailer description, I felt the need to say, like, these are what I'm riffing off of. These are the movie trailers. These are the ideas, because I was like riffing off of like Death Proof, Machete, and there's this fan trailer online called The Paperboy, and I actually use like an audio clip from that, or like the music track, and I was just like, I'm just like lifting it and just like homaging it and ripping it off, and that's sometimes what happens. But I try to be original as somewhat, and try to like get inspired by actual movie trailers. Like I said before, like I was homaging Blow. I've homaged what do you call it? The deep water. Oh, what's it called? Underwater trailer. Because in the movie, the Godzilla trailer, there's like a whole section just from that underwater trailer, because I like that section so much. And then I'm trying to think if there's another trailer where I just kind of like lifted. Oh, like I guess, for example, it would be like the Gone Girl trailer, because at the end it goes into the "Ain't no mountain high enough," and it has like the voiceover, and I was splicing in all those trailer voiceovers from the trailer Stepmom. So if you go back and watch those retro trailers of the Stepmom, it'll have the "Ain't no mountain high enough," and it'll have those voiceovers of like, sometimes the person you don't want to live with, you can't live without. So that's where I got that voiceover from. And there's things like that. And I believe like my most original one, like mostly would be the Universal Monster trailer. But even then, like the intro is sort of inspired by the Army of Darkness trailer, because it opens up with that music from, I believe, either Darkman or something else. No, it is from Army of Darkness, because it's like, oh. So I homage that for the opening scene of that trailer. And actually, now if I'm recalling from my lizard brain, I believe the Dark Universe was actually inspired sort of by the Mystery Men trailer. Sort of. Because I believe that intro song is the same one, like in Metropolis City or whatever that movie takes place in. I believe it does that. So with every project I do, I sort of like homage the past and bring it forward with my project, because I feel like with my fan trailers, I tried to bring everything that I love about trailer making and movies in general, or actors I love. Every project I work on is just, it's for me. It's like, I like Brad Pitt, I like Mark Wahlberg, I'm going to make a fan trailer with them in it. And it's like, I like Bruce Willis, I like Denzel, I like John Cusack, I like Jennifer Connelly. I'm going to do a fan trailer of that. And same thing goes with the current trailer I'm working on, the Kristen Stewart project. It's like, I like Kristen Stewart, I like Bradley Cooper, I like Brie Larson, I like Anne Hathaway, and I just want to work it all together. So that's what I do. I do loads of research on everyone's filmography, see what clips I can use and what lines I can use and what visuals. And the other thing is I want to, stress is that even if they are too young, or if they're doing a voiceover in a cartoon, or maybe there's another movie where someone says the line, but like, maybe it's like, example, throwing an example out there. Maybe there's a line I could use from the movie being John Malkovich, but John Cusack doesn't look the way I want him to look. Maybe he has a beard, he's got the long hair, he doesn't look like Superman. So what you would do is just take that line and then place it on your timeline where you want it to be, and then try to find a clip from that era of filmography that you're working with. Like, say, like, example, so he has the long hair and beard and being John Malkovich, but you like that line, but you can't use the visual. You can still use the line though. You could go back to either like Pushing Tin or Con Air or Money for Nothing or In the Guardian of Evil, and go through those clips and try to find that visual you'll need. Maybe he's in a scene with somebody else and you want that reverse shot, and try to match it. Like, for example, there is a line in the Batman versus Superman trailer where I have Jennifer Connelly talking to John Cusack, and I had to find a similar like reverse shot for the scene. So it is John Cusack saying, that's what people try to tell me, but I'm trying too hard, or something like that. And the line is like, do people find you charming? That's what it is. So what I tried to find was a line where Jennifer Connelly was sitting down and like looking this way, and then John Cusack was looking the other way. Try to find a similar eye line and a similar backdrop for when they're talking, because those are two different movies that they're in, and you just try to match the lip flap. So for that scene in particular, it was Jennifer Connelly that I had to lip flap. So her line was, "Do people find you charming?" So I had to put that in my mind as I was looking at clips for Jennifer Connelly. So charming. So you have to find a clip from a movie she was in where she goes, and it's like, oh, so you just have to find the end of that phrase, because you sort of can cheat that. As long as the ending looks good, the first part doesn't really matter how their lips move, as long as it matches at the end. So, do people find you charming? So it just has to look like that on her lips. So that's what I did, because here's the cheating thing, folks. It's not really Jennifer Connelly's voice. It's Angelina Jolie's voice. Do people find you charming? So I had to match the lips of Jennifer Connelly saying, do people find you charming? So instead of explaining it, let me show you it. BVS VHS. Hopefully it pops up right away. Dang it, it didn't. Okay. Batman. Chief Brody Rules. Because I want to pull up the clip so I can show you what I'm talking about. It's pretty forward what I'm explaining, but you never know. Maybe some people out there just need that visual, that visual help to understand what I'm saying. Because sometimes you might be like, what are you talking about? Like lip flap? What's that mean? So let me pull it on screen, Jamie. Add to stream. So we're going to jump to that part.
What do you want to say to him? I just think he's kind of hot. And because I try. Are there people who find...
There we go. Wait. I'm going to pause it. Bring you a big screen.
This is Clark Kent.
Are there people who find you charming?
Well,
right there. So that's, you just need to find that lip flap up at the end of her going charming. So that's all it is. That's always what it's been about.
This is Clark Kent.
Are there people who find you charming?
Well, they pretend because I try so hard.
And that's another too, because the line is from Pushing Tin, but the clip of him talking is from Money or Nothing, or Money for Nothing. I think that's what the title of the movie is. But yeah, if you look at him, try so hard. Yeah, try so hard. Hang on, let me make myself bigger. Yeah. So when you do the lip flap, it's like try so hard. So you need to find John Cusack doing that lip movement, try so hard, or people find you charming. Yeah, there's like, you have to, like, sometimes in order to help yourself out, you just have to go like say it out loud. Do people find you charming? And you like have to find something similar in the trailer. And let's go. Let's see here. I'm trying to think if there's any other like moment that really stands out for this. Trying to think. I guess I'll just let it play as commentary, so I'll just do that. So maybe that's easier. So with this project, since it was such a big project and I just wanted to kind of get it over with without really focusing on making it perfect, I made it a concept trailer. So if there's any flaws in it, I was okay with it. So like there's a lot of clips jumping back and forth here. We had Interstellar, we had Man of Steel. Right here we have Field of Dreams, Man of Steel, and then there was this is like generic star clip, Field of Dreams, A Perfect World, and even those lines are from Man of Steel. Like you just have to tell, like it's the clip, the visual is from Perfect World, but the line is from Man of Steel. And then we have Superman Returns here. Might have stuff with the movie, and I thought that worked out perfect because it's in a cornfield. And then here, clip from Identity. And then we have like a generic clip from, I believe it was the Metropolis trailer for the Batman vs. Superman movie. And it's going like real quick, right here. So that's from a Die Hard trailer. This is from San Andreas. And then I had to find footage of a dam breaking and then cutting back and forth between the clips here. But yeah, I try to have a lot of fun with it. And like even the music is sort of like an homage to like early 90s. Like I'm homaging the Max Landis trailer that sort of inspired this. I'm also homaging Days of Thunder with this. Give Me Some Lovin'. And like that's all fake. It was like fake microphone and a fake teleprompter thing. Yeah. That was just interesting making this trailer. Holy hell. But yeah, there's some fake head imagery here as well, trying to replace the face. And it's not perfect, but it does its job. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here that would give some good advice. Yeah. I guess with this, my advice would be, fan trailers don't have to be perfect because this is not a perfect trailer per se, because it's not 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It goes on for like 3 minutes, but it gets the idea across. And I realized I didn't have to make it perfect. I just had to set up the universe, set up the clips, and sort of make it realistic. And I tried to do not that many special effects because there are some special effects I do and they're not that great. Like right here, because there's only one rating clip I could find and it was from Identity. It's sort of okay, not great, but okay. So that's what I tried to do for my fan trailer. But yeah, so I think I'll just pull that off screen and go back to the big screen. So I think that's all my advice for now is just find your actors, find their age frame, watch the trailers, listen for lines, and either however you get your movies. If you torrent them, that's fine. That's on you. I usually rip DVDs. I rip Blu-rays. I've given my examples. I rip DVDs to get the sound stem of just like the audio, the voiceover. And then I also, use those to find lines from different movies as well. And it helps me do research for Blu-rays or DVDs I need to buy. Because I don't want to, for a project, it's like if I'm going to buy a DVD, or it used to be in the old days, I would just buy DVDs because they were cheap. They're like $3.99 or whatever. But I've come to the point where it's like, I'll only buy the DVD if I absolutely need it. If there's like that one line I need, I'll use it. And but I usually keep my eye out for that. Another good place if you ever need DVDs for cheap, try checking your local Goodwill or your local Savers or whatever that, place is called wherever you live. Because I know it's called different places, different names and else different places, but it has like the same sticker. So it's like got to be like the same parent company. Give me a second. But I usually use a place like Savers for DVDs because sometimes they have the out of print DVDs or some Blu-rays that are cheap. So that's also good. So I believe that's good. That is good. So is there any questions out there from anybody who's been tuning in about fan trailers or any advice that I have not given? Because I think I've given pretty good advice for today. because you don't have to hold yourself to those clips in movies. You could find different clips from other movies and just try to match that lip flap, because that lip flap, you could cheat. You could use lines from John Malkovich or whatever and just cheat that lip flap. And if you want that specific look. So stick around if there's any questions. If not, I'll probably tune out the live stream, but I just wanted to give some quick advice about making fan trailers. The hard part about making fan trailers is finding the music. So you really, I guess I could go into that before I go. Maybe wait for some questions to pop up if there's any questions. But usually when you do a fan trailer, or at least for me, I try to have like a basic of idea. Like I at least have like one track. Like, okay, like I'm going to use this for the intro track, or I have the ending. I just need to find the first track, because I feel like the music is the foundation of your trailer, and you could help do your pacing throughout the trailer. You could tell yourself how long the trailer is going to be, because you try to tell yourself, okay, I want to do 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So you got to have that little 5 seconds in the beginning for your green band. And then it starts like, 5 seconds in, and then you start your trailer. And I always see that the trailer has sort of like 3 acts. Within the first 30 to 45 seconds of the trailer, you need to establish your character, what they're about, and what the world is or where it takes place. And then 45 seconds until about like a minute 30. Yeah, about 45 seconds to a minute 30. That's the second act. That's where you need to introduce the problem and the story beats and the storyline. And then from, 145. So from 145 until 2:30, that's when you need to do the ramping up, the montage, quick up the pace. But that's like basically the timeline of your trailer. So first 30 seconds, introduce your characters, introduce the world, introduce the tone. 45 to 145, that's all plot. From 145 to 2:30, that's when you do your final montage of, you could either do actors, or you could do action, or just like really thicken up your storyline. And to me, I'm always about building story throughout the trailer. I'm not just a guy who will be like, okay, I'm going to throw music at the end. At least I try not to. I feel like I'm going to have to do that with the Kristen Stewart project. I feel like it's going to be mostly music based towards the end, and I'm trying to avoid that. So yeah, I think that wraps it up. That gives some good advice. So is there any questions before I jump out of here? And it could be about anything. If you're wondering about YouTube poop, yes, I am planning one coming up. It is how much longer does the program need? Legacy. I am working on that. It is coming up. Not soon, but I am working on it. I'm thinking of ideas, because I want to sort of like connect like all my YouTube poop into like one universe. That would be great. Hi, Shane. Shane, you're missing out. You missed out on the first 50 minutes of this. So not even 50. I think it's been 40 minutes, because I think it did like that 9 minutes where I was sitting in the waiting room. But it's been 40 minutes of me just explaining fan trailers. So this is the Q&A, Shane. If you have any questions about fan trailers or editing, this is it. This is your moment. I'm going to stay on here for a couple more minutes as I wait for questions. And if anyone has any questions, I'll answer them. If they don't, they don't. So I'll just give you guys some time, because this is all about my editing. This is about Chief Brody Rules. This is about editing fan trailers. This is that. If you want some advice, if you have any questions, updates, go for it. So just give me a minute. Let's see. What's the best way to mix music with visuals? Let's see. Do you have a specific example that you want me to talk about? Because this can go either way. Sometimes I'm sort of like two minds on the subjects. Like sometimes you could use the big giant booms for the title hit. Like boom. Let's pull up an example. Let's pull one up, Jamie. Let's see if I can pull up. Hang on. Godzilla. Or Oh, Godzilla ChiefBrodyRules. That might be quicker. That might be quicker. It wasn't quicker. Oh, geez, this is oh, damn it. Okay, that's why it's not quicker. Okay, give me a second. Rules. Godzilla. So there's some trailers I do where I match up like the sounds to the, what do you call it? Like if it's a big giant boom, I try to match it to the title hits. Okay, give me a second. Present screen, share screen. And then it's Godzilla Arcadia. Okay, so let's just go back a smidge.
We do.
Who here wants to see some fireworks? Come on now, you can do better than that. Who here wants to see some fireworks?
Light it up!
We are faced with the very gravest of challenges. Everything that can be done to prevent this disaster,
I guess I tried to match it to the
is
beat.
being called into service.
The operation is over.
Hey, we're not giving up, okay?
Eyes
Big reveal.
We got trouble.
That's
Closing in on us all night.
May we all, citizens the world over, see these events through. Godspeed
And then there's music.
and good luck to you.
If we win,
We'll change the game.
Yeah. So what I try to do is just, try to match it the best as I can, either to titles or to the beat. So if there's like a big giant like boom, or if there's like a woo, and I try to match like some sort of like motion to the music, if possible. I think the way you use needle drops in your fan trailer really puts it apart from other fan trailers. Yeah, that's kind of true, but like I hate to say this, but like I'm Frank Miller, I'm sort of Paul Thomas Anderson, but like I feel like a lot of my music is inspired by other trailers. I'm going to just say, I'm going to admit it, because that's what I do. It's like a sort of like a remix of something I've seen already. Because like I was saying earlier before, when I did the Batman versus Superman, it was inspired by the, what do you call it? Let me pull it up. Let me see if I can, let's do shared screen so you guys can see what I'm doing. I believe is it this one? Let's put it on screen. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay. Oops. Spoiler alert for my next show. Hang on. Hide. Yep. Okay. Just make that black. I didn't even notice that earlier. Spoiler alert. Okay. So, for example, we're talking about the Batman versus Superman. Landis, American Alien. So in my fan trailer, I used Give Me Some Lovin'. And it's also used in this video. It's because it was an homage to it. Put this on mute real quick. Come on. Dead air.
It's time. The complete.
Maybe too vocal with his opinions about Superman.
Nobody gives a
So I saw Man of Steel.
So it plays all that Give Me Some Lovin'.
But I'm talking to you right now because DC Comics has offered me a very interesting opportunity. On November.
Yeah, he's annoying. But I used the Give Me Some Lovin' from that. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I did want to use the song, but there was a reason why I wanted to use that one song for the Godzilla trailer. So let me find it.
This is costing me money. But I'm coming to you as a fan because
He won't stop talking. The Life trailer. I think I homaged the Life trailer for my Godzilla trailer, if I'm not mistaken. So I got to do some research. Okay. I want to see if it's accurate, though. If I recall correctly. Yep, I did.
Hey guys, it's a girl.
Because they use the spirit in the sky.
Any idea who their father is?
Shut up.
And it's sort of an homage to
story
the
time.
Life trailer.
All right, let's go.
3. It even has the little switch on the radio in the beginning too. So yeah, everything I do is sort of like an homage or something to that I like. Like that was an homage to the Life trailer, and I also did in my Kristen Stewart project. There is a part where I verbatim like referenced the Goodfellas trailer. Oh, not Goodfellas, the Blow trailer. See if I can pull it up, Jamie. Blow trailer. Because I like the way they do that transition in the Blow trailer. Because the Blow trailer is one of my all-time favorite movie trailers. Shane Ford, I don't know if you've seen it on my channel. I have a list of my favorite movie trailers. So there's a part in the Blow trailer that I really love.
El americano.
I'm great at what I do, Dad.
Right here.
I mean, I'm really great at what I do. Let me tell you something, George. You have been great at anything. Anything.
I bring you in, this is how you pay me back?
This is business.
Who introduced you to Pablo Escobar? Huh?
There's that. Hang on, I'm going to turn my phone on mute. Okay. So let me go back to the questions. Yeah. Let's see what you got to say. What is your process of doing original idea fan trailers with stuff like Reset in real life? Process. It's all the same process. So it's like if I want to do a trailer, I have the idea of what I want to do. With Reset, I wanted to do time travel with Bruce Willis. So what do I need to do? I need time travel. I need the DeLorean. I need Time Cop. I need to look up all these movies about time travel. So I need to look up Back to the Future, Deja Vu, Time Cop. I think there's like a handful of other time travel things in there. And then I have to do research on the DeLorean. Because if I recall correctly, I don't use any, I usually use like one clip from Back to the Future. But all the clips in that trailer are from commercials or viral videos where they use the DeLorean in theirs. I think there's even one shot where I used from a Back to the Future fan film. It's like that one like tracking shot in front of the DeLorean. I use that from a fan film. So I need to do research on that. So that's a good example. So let me tell you how I do that. So for Reset, looking at all those Back to the Future commercials, the DeLorean, things like that. Try to avoid to use clips from Back to the Future, honestly. I think there was like only one clip from the movie I used. And then Bruce Willis clips. So I'm looking up Bruce Willis clips. I'm using shots where he's like turning his head, and I use lines that I want to use. We want to go back in time. So I'm also using 12 Monkeys. I'm using, I think that's the line, because like we have a program that you want to talk about. And then the guy's like time travel. So that's from Time Cop. So it's all these different movies that I'm using. And then basically got to find a plot. So I'm using like clips from Blade Runner 2049. And then like, just because I'm just thinking like, okay, robots in the future. What are robots from the future? We have Terminator, like the entire series. And I think I used clips from Terminator Genesis because the girl had the robot face. And I thought that was cool because it matched with the girl that Bruce Willis was throwing in Die Hard 4. So it matches visually, because I was thinking, like, okay, what can I use visually? Because I'm like, I have to use bald Bruce Willis because he's like, he's like, that can't be too hard, can it? He's bald Bruce Willis, so he's got to start the car. So I'm like, okay, he's bald. So like that's the main thing I have to use. So I have to use clips from Die Hard 4, like him punching or him driving the car saying, is that all you got? Things like that. And then since I knew that, I had to find clips that incorporated what he did, all his actions. So he's like punching, I got to find someone getting punched. If he's running, I got to find like a place that looks similar to what he's running to. There's a shot in the trailer where he's hanging off of one of the Skynet machines, and I matched that to Die Hard 5 because he's bald in the Die Hard 5 and he's doing ridiculous things. And in Die Hard 5, there's like that scene where they're carrying the. Do I have it over? I can't reach any of them. But anyway, oh wait, we have this. This is a good example. So in the movie, there's a truck that's being dragged. So there's a scene where Bruce Willis is hanging from the truck. So what I did was use the close-up of him hanging from that to make it look like he was hanging from the Skynet machine. So it's like you got to find things where bald Bruce Willis is interacting with something from a movie that you're going to use, either a Terminator movie or whatever you're using. That's example for Reset. Real life was a little bit more difficult. It was more like, how can I sell the idea of Tom Cruise going into the real world, and what can I use visual aids and audio clips from different movies to sort of sell this idea. In retrospect, I probably would not have used the visual clips from Purple Rose of Cairo. I probably use different visuals over that stuff because they're all like old school Hollywood. They have like, like hello, I'm talking on the phone. I probably would not use that, visual clip. I would probably find some sort of other clip of modern Hollywood. I sort of tried to do that with the one scene where it says, "Who knows what you're talking about?" And it's the clip from Mission Impossible of like, oh my god, Ethan Hunt's on the run. And then what's the other thing? I'm trying to think of what else is in that trailer. But it was basically just trying to sell the idea using visuals. Like the big example of real life is that the first part of the movie I tried to do like full screen. No, wait, hang on, reverse that. I think the first part of the trailer I tried to do widescreen because when he goes into the real world, that's when I lift up and take away the bars. So you know that there's a difference between the movie world and the real world because those bars. So that's what I tried to do visually to help with the storytelling. Is that different to doing stuff based on IP? This is kind of a difficult question because the Batman versus Superman trailer is just sort of like riffing on what I would do for Batman versus Superman, also while homaging the Zack Snyder movies. The same thing with the Batman trailer. It was just riffing off the Dark Knight and how I would do it in the 90s. If that makes sense. It wasn't sort of like I guess that's what you're kind of saying, isn't it? It's like, is it more difficult? I think it's kind of easier doing stuff on IP because with that, there's already a Zack Snyder universe. There's already the Dark Knight, so I just have to find clips that mimic or emulate that tone that the Dark Knight had or how Batman versus Superman had compared to something like Reset or Real Life, because Real Life or Reset, it's sort of like I have to find the tone with my editing, what kind of story I want to tell with those movies and get the idea across because it's not established. I have to make sure I'm crystal clear on what I'm talking about. Same thing with the Godzilla trailer, because honestly, the Godzilla trailer is pretty much an original idea because I hardly do anything with the Godzilla monster. The reason why Godzilla is in the title is just because I knew people would be saying, "Oh, that's Godzilla. You're making a Godzilla trailer." So in order to avoid those comments, I just called it Godzilla. So there's that. Those favorite movie trailers, classic or vids, yes. And then you should do a favorite TV spot. Favorite TV spots to finish the trilogy. Oh, you like those videos, right? Okay. TV spots, I'm not sure of. TV spots is sort of a blind spot for me because I don't really watch TV. Like, I really haven't watched TV since like 2015 when they canceled Hannibal. And I was like, that's it. So, yeah. Is there any other questions before I head out? Because I think I answered everything. Oh. Are there any trailers that didn't make the cut, or would you like to add to if you redid a favorite trailer vid? Oh, okay. So if there's any trailers I had that didn't make the list. I was just going to say Anastasia, but I think Anastasia made the list. I don't believe so. It's been a while since I did that video. I think it's been like oh my God, I think it's been like 5 years since I did my favorite trailer video, but I don't think anything was left out. I feel like if anything was left out, it really wasn't the top favorite because those top 10s I picked are definitely my top 10 favorite trailers. Teasers might be a little bit different. I think Christopher Nolan did a good, bunch of teaser trailers for him. But I think I'm okay with trailers. I think that list is pretty final. Like those are my favorite. Because even Mad Max 2 made it. Max, warrior of the road. You'll find by me, pal. In order to do the job, I need high octane gasoline. You can run, but you cannot hide. I underestimated you. I was wrong. Okay. Is that it, Shane Ford? Oh. Okay. There was another question. I thought it was over. Okay. What's your process for doing director tribute videos? It's usually finding the songs. Find the songs first that I want to mash up with, and then find different lines from the movie, and then put them in together. That's what I did with the Paul Thomas Anderson one, because at that time I was watching a lot of Paul Thomas Anderson, and I noticed a lot of visual references, a lot of similar visuals, and I tried to put those in different sections. Like I noticed a lot of his violence, I noticed a lot of the humor, I noticed a lot of people running, and I tried to find some cool transitions. Like I think the part from the girl going into the pool and transitioning to the what do you call it, the Tom Cruise speech? No, now. And just there's like similar scenes and quotes that all match up together. But I usually try to, start out with the music first and then build on top of that. Outside Tarantino, any directors you like to do? I wish I could do Tony Scott. I wish I could do Steven Spielberg, but those are too big. Those are too big. I don't even know if because here's the thing. If I was still doing DVD videos, no problem. I'd probably say yes, absolutely. I'll try to do these. But now that I've transitioned to HD, it's become such a pain in the ass because I have to recopy all these movies that I've had on file already, but now I need to find the Blu-ray copy because people want HD, so it's a pain in the ass. So that's why I'm like, I would love to do those. That means I would have to find all those Steven Spielberg movies on Blu-ray. Some of them, I don't even think they're on Blu-ray. I don't think Sugarland Express is on Blu-ray. And it's just like, pain in the ass. And I think there's like some out-of-print movies. Like I think Man on Fire is out of print. Or at least I think. It's been a while. Because every time I try to look it up, it's always weird. It's never readily available. And if it is, it's usually kind of expensive. Your PTA tribute is one of my all-time faves. Thank you. Do you think you'll ever do a Hope-type video essays? No. If anything, if there's any other type of video essay I want to do, it's the Santa Claus trilogy. I want to do a riff and parody on video essays and talk about how I think the Santa Claus trilogy is the best superhero trilogy. I think that's the only video essay I really want to do because I want to make fun of the format. I want to annihilate the format. I want to point out how stupid some of these fan video essays are, because I want to riff off Robbie. I am the Robbie. I want to riff off Oliver Harper. I want to riff off of Red Letter Media. I want to riff off of what's his name, the Angry Video Game Nerd, for his videos. I want to riff on those people in this video, and I just want to completely, genuinely sound like I'm talking about how great the Santa Claus trilogy is and how it did everything before the Spider-Man trilogy did. Like, for real. Dead Batman Down was an easy thing. I don't even think there was a process. The idea was that in the Dead Man Down trailer, there's a scene where the guy's running and she says, "Get in the car." And I'm like, I could just match that up with Mask of the Phantasm and then just riff and build off that. There was no process. That was the idea. The idea was like, those two scenes are similar. I'll just put them together. That's it. There was no magic. There was no bigger idea. It was just, those scenes are similar. There's a scene where guys run into a car and the girl saying, "Hey, get in." That's what I did. Sorry. Hate to pop that bubble if you were expecting like a bigger answer, but no, that was it. They both look similar, and I just built off that. Any other questions? I think I've answered everything. Tribute video, start out with the music, go from there. And hang on, we got one more. It can't be that easy. It's that easy. Yeah, that's all it was. There was nothing big or special about it or a bigger answer. It was just that it was those clips look similar. I was like, make a mashup. Make a mashup. Sometimes it's just like that. Okay. I'll do one more question, Shane. One more question. Yes. Yes. Thank you. One more question, Shane, and then I'll bounce out because I think now I'm at an hour. So one more question will probably take it to 105. So that'll be good. That'll be good. Any questions for anybody out there about fan trailers, Chief Brody rules, YouTube poop? I'm willing to answer any question today. So go ahead. Anybody. 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 Five, 4, 4.5, 3, 2, 1. All right. Nothing's popping up on my end. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching this live stream on how I, make fan trailers. Hopefully there's some good advice in this. Again, let me name off those programs I use just in case you forgot. I use DVD Fab. So it's DVD FAB. It's a good program. I also use MPEG Stream Clip. It's a free program that you can download offline. You use that to get the audio stems from your DVD rips that you get from DVD Fab. You have to use DVD Fab and rip it to the ISO file or VOB file. And then there's also a free program online called Make MKV, so that rips the Blu-ray DVD or Blu-ray. Make MKV rips the Blu-ray disc, and you could use Handbrake to convert that MKV file to MP4. It makes the smile fall smaller. And then we have Shane Ford. He's got nothing. He's got nothing. All right, glad you caught the end of this. Well, Shane, go back to the beginning. I give some good advice, hopefully, about how I make fan trailers. So thank you guys for tuning in. This has been fun, and hopefully this helps people out there to get some ideas. If not, leave a comment down below. I will answer it. I will do that. I promise you. I promise you. If you leave a comment down below asking for advice about anything, I'll try to answer it to my ability. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's been great. Catch you later.